Studio 61, powered by Vantage TV by Frontier.
Would you be comfortable sharing with us the name of the hotel you stayed in last night?
No.
He says that gets to the point that it's all about privacy. We are still continuing to talk about this testimony. And joining us now is Professor of Communication at the University of Hartford, Adam Chiara. Thank you so much for being here. You have been monitoring this very closely. And one thing that you had mentioned is that it was very interesting to see Zuckerberg now mention the words media company when dealing with Facebook.
Yes, I mean, Zuckerberg and Facebook's stance has always been it's a technology company. And there's a big distinction, they say. Technology company means, hey, we're just the platform that delivers this content. We're not responsible for the content. That's been what they've been saying since the creation of Facebook. But yesterday was the first time that Zuckerberg said, you know what, we are responsible for the content. He didn't go as far as to say that he's a publisher, but he said we're responsible. And that opens the door now, can there be more regulation? Because they're saying, yeah, we're responsible for what's on there.
That question of regulation is obviously going to be a big one now and moving forward. Even he says he's open to a little bit of regulation. What could we possibly see when it comes to that regulation?
Sure. I mean, Zuckerberg said, yes, we could be regulated. The question is, what kind of regulation? Because you also have to remember, it's not just Facebook that's going to be regulated. If they do these kinds of regulations, it ends up being Twitter and Google. But something that we're kind of looking at is what Europe's doing. So Europe has some interesting initiatives. I'll give you an example of one that's one that could really work here in the U.S. So we've signed into apps for Facebook. Might sign into a game using Facebook, or let's say I'm going to use the example of a weather app. So you sign into a weather app using Facebook, and what Facebook says is, or what that app says, all right, we're going to take your information for everything, your photos, your contacts, and they get all your information. What this Europe law is saying is, all right, well, the app can only take the information that it needs. So let's go back to this weather app, right?
Okay.
You sign up for this weather app using Facebook, and all it really needs is your location, because they just need to know, is it going to snow in your area, right?
Right.
So that's the only information that app can take, and that Facebook can have. It can't take everything else, which is what apps are doing right now, and which is what Facebook is collecting right now.
Okay, so it would be limiting that information.
Yes.
Also, how does Facebook plan on addressing things like foreign interference in elections, fake news, policing the content of what's going on there, and also, content that we could see related to terrorism, related to hate speech? That's obviously a big concern.
Yeah, I've got two letters for you. AI, artificial intelligence.
Okay.
And Mark Zuckerberg kept saying that. He said, we're using AI more. First of all, his argument was, we didn't have AI when we created this in 2004. We didn't have these automated bots to be able to try to find this content at a rapid pace, because obviously humans have to go and comb through all this, and they don't have the time necessarily to be able to get through everything. AI allows us to do this, at an incredible speed. So they're going to be using AI. They're already using it, and they want to use it even more to be able to proactively find this content as opposed to reflectively, going back after the fact and saying, all right, we saw this was posted a week ago, and now we got to take it down. But if you think about it, that's how they're going to combat terrorism. That's how they're going to combat hate speech. Of course, the caveat with this is, could some of that speech that is free speech get mixed up in this, because AI is still a robot, right? It still doesn't have that same intuition that a human has. And Facebook also has millions of people outside of the U.S. So something that we interpret as, derogatory, maybe in another country, it's just the language is a difference. So, yeah.
All right, so we're going to wait to see a lot more today in that testimony as well. Thank you so much for being here with us.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Still to come for you on the Fox 61 Morning News. A great place for senior citizens has made an alliance